Um, Sorry, my computer is doing a security thing to allow me to share screen. It's very fancy. Okay, hold.
Oh, uh-oh. Hopefully they will be back momentarily. And there they are.
All right, let's try this again. Share screen. Can you see the Lifeboat PowerPoint?
I can.
Awesome. Welcome to our November 13th weekly update. We're so glad you're here. And to start off, we will do, I can start with the land acknowledgement. First, I'll begin by acknowledging the land themselves. The land was here ever before we were people, and the land will be here long after we are gone. And everything that we experience and everything that we experience on this earth is because of the land and arises from the land. So deep acknowledgement and gratitude for the land as the provider of everything. And I am coming to you from so-called Austin, Texas, which has quite a number of indigenous tribes, nomadic indigenous tribes that are connected to it, including the Tonkawa people and the several Apache peoples, the Comanche peoples, and a bunch of other groups that I'm still learning about. And I acknowledge the debt of gratitude and obligation that I have to these indigenous peoples who stewarded the lands where I live, work, and play for time immemorial before my ancestors arrived here, and who are still very much fighting for their own rights to land, to exist as a sovereign people, and to protect these lands for the next 7 generations and beyond. And we will go around and each answer a question to start off, which is, what aspect of the Lifeboat Academy has your attention at this moment? And the circle as I see it is Ben, Roland, Rebecca, and David, and then me. And if someone, I think I can type that into the chat. Oops, sorry, I'm still getting used to this whole screen sharing business. And yeah, Ben, would you like to start?
Sure. What has my attention right now is, well, it's following up on the Regenerate Cascadia Summit and some contacts from that. And also thinking through, I think, yeah, it's kind of updating our plan for the next couple of months. I think we're at a point where we've had some changes, and because of comings and goings, it's just probably worthwhile to take a look at a slightly longer horizon. So that's what has my attention. Over to you, Roland.
I think what has my attention at the moment is balancing my buckets of activity. Right out of the gate, the day and the week is suddenly full, and being able to prioritize everything, which is my whole existence, in relation to everything that's happening. So that's what's got my attention right now. So I'm going to pass on to Becca.
Oh, you're muted.
Happy to be here for my first weekly check-in. I'm in the process of setting up my art show that has most of my attention, but I'm thinking about that. I'm on the finance and fundraising team and trying to keep a bit of my attention there.
And I think David has left, so I will go. I feel like I can't choose what aspect has my attention. I'm really interested. We have several ongoing and emerging partnerships that are happening that are all sort of different flavors of what we do and are all really interesting. So I'm curious to see how our collaborations evolve and including, a co-op organization that is connected to a bunch of other co-ops and a bunch of other people. And, there's lots of communities that need the kinds of tools and support that we offer. So I'm eager to see how that can happen. Um, yeah. All right. So in case you are new here, you're watching this for the first time, the Lifeboat Academy seeks to be a model of resilience and regeneration at the person, place, and community level. And we define a lifeboat as a personal place-based resilience network. And we define the Lifeboat Network as a network of those place-based resilience networks. So a way to conceptualize the way that different people and communities are all interconnected, so that we can share resources and support with one another. So we'll start with outreach and partnerships. And there's actually quite a lot on this slide, which is really exciting, kind of what I was talking about with our ongoing collaborations. And I'll just go through it. And if anyone wants to add or elaborate on what I've shared, please jump in. So we had a discussion about our outreach strategy, the outreach we've been doing for a few weeks now. I don't know, maybe a month, some amount of time. Including all our different social media posts, so memes and blurbs and things that we're sharing out with people. Our weekly updates, which is what this is right now, and how that connects to our weekly emails that announce all of our happenings, as well as talking about our Facebook group. In case you are unaware, we have a Facebook group called Lifeboat Builders, which has, I think, around 50 people in it. And there hasn't been a whole lot of activity. So we had a brainstorming session about different kinds of prompts and things we could post in there. We met with Daisy about the community justice program in the Southern Gulf Islands, doing a strategic planning session or framework with the Lifeboat Academy. Ben also met with Little Mountain about their food hub project and a board meeting on the farm on the physical campus of the Lifeboat Academy. They hosted a Spirit Moves dance event in the studio. Ben had our bi-weekly recording of the podcast with Andy last week. We're also entering into a collaboration with Earth Regenerators to do some restorative justice work. And we're continuing to do some AIM, Act, Reflect processing around the Regenerate Cascadia movement and project to figure out where we can best put our energy. And next steps include adding some leads from the Regenerate Cascadia Summit to our CRM, which is our customer relationship management system. We're putting together an offering for CHFBC, which is the Co-Housing Federation of BC, I believe, and other organizations of that sort. We want to reach out to our local community justice program, which I mentioned, to get some support for restorative justice process. And we're planning to continue outreach. So, getting more layers of support from individuals and organizations who would have an impact that way, and also talking to foundations as potential social mortgage holders. And is there anything anyone would like to add to what I mentioned here?
I'll just do two quick details. So we are tentatively scheduled for December 30th for hosting the Community Justice Program strategic planning here. And in addition to CHFBC, the work I'm doing with the Little Mountain Neighborhood House, we're thinking is an entree point into the Neighborhood House Network in BC. So those are two specific networks of networks actually that that we're hoping to continue to reach out to.
I think I'll just add that for the last point, anyone who is watching this who may have a contact with a foundation or an organization that you think might be interested in being a social mortgage holder, please put us in touch with them. And if you're curious about what a social mortgage holder is, also get in touch with us, and we'd be more than happy to go over that with you.
In terms of our materials and back-end stuff, we started the process of converting some larger one-page flyers into Instagram posts so that they're easily readable and shareable. We did a bunch of cleanup in our mailbox and CRM last week, which was much needed and really helpful to kind of look at our relationships, and there's some needed follow-up and sort of restructuring of things, which is what the CRM strategy session was about. We were looking at how to process leads and when to follow up with people, and sort of how to look at our relationships and collaborations in strategic ways to make sure that we are maximizing potential, basically. There's a reorganization of all of our files that has begun. And Ben and Roland met with Brandon about potentially doing a video for the Lifeboat Academy, which is really awesome. And some next steps are continuing with getting our website finished. It's getting a little bit closer every week, so it's going to happen. And then implementing some changes to the CRM just to make it easier for us to use and understand, and continuing with office hours. Is there anything else to add?
Well, I would throw in both the CRM and the office files, and reorganizing the files are part of the AMAC Reflect. And so we're walking the talk, and as we've had the systems in place, we're just figuring out, using our experience and where would a little tweak help. So none of this is wholesale or major change, but it's just learning through experience and trying to refine the process and getting a little smarter each time if we can. Over to you, Roland. Anything to add?
I don't know if this is maybe mentioned later, so apologies if I'm saying something too soon. But I also wanted to say that part of our AMAC Reflect process lately has included talking about what does it mean, finding ways of being able to express more clearly what it means that we are a research project, or that the Lifeboat Academy is engaged in experimentation. So actually thinking about what we would need to put in terms of materials together to be able to explain that more clearly. And same thing with our onboarding process. For new people on the farm, we've been having really interesting and fruitful, I feel, discussions about what we need to do to make things easier and clearer for people who say that they were interested in the farm, not only for the people coming, but also for the well-being of the Lifeboat Academy as a whole, because we think of the Lifeboat Academy as its own organism that we are a part of. So we want to make sure that it remains healthy. So that's sort of part of the thinking that we've been going through to be able to then translate that into a more digestible way of expressing it. Thanks.
Oh, this is one by one. All right. So in terms of weekly focus, continuing AMAC reflect process for everything, as mentioned, and also for thinking about next steps with reaching out to foundations to connect with social mortgage holders. We're thinking through our offering for CHFBC and other organizations because it's different than reaching out one-on-one lifeboat builders, but rather how can we present and offer a framework that they can then implement for the people that they're connected to. Continuing on with the website and the site map, adding contacts from Regenerate Cascadia to the CRM, and then following up with those leads. Contacting community justice about restorative justice support, which I already mentioned, and then keep on keeping on with our outreach and office hours. I think that was, yeah. Anything else to add that hasn't been said? Awesome. And so here are some of our ways to get in contact with us if you don't already have access to them. Our email and our landing page, which will soon be our complete website. We have a resilience help desk at freshdesk.lifeboat.academy with lots of different resources and webinars and videos and FAQ for lifeboat builders and potential investors. And then we're on several different social media platforms. Facebook and YouTube and Instagram are the ones that have the most material. They're the ones that are updated the most often, but we are on all of the ones that are listed here. And of course, yeah, always feel free to send us an email, ask us a question, make a comment. You can comment on these videos on YouTube, and we'll see your comments and can address them in the next weekly update. So yeah, there's lots of different ways to connect.
Including office hours. So
yes,
you can always sign up for office hours if you want to get in touch with us, and we can answer questions, or you can propose ideas, or whatever happens to be on your mind relative to building lifeboats. So, and I guess we should also open it up to questions to see if Becca has anything that you want to follow up on, any more information.
No, thanks.
All right.
Cool.
Well, then we will post this video to our YouTube channel. They are posted usually by the end of the day on Monday. So they're always available for review. And like I said, you can get in touch with us through email or office hours or the social media channels. And other than that, I guess we'll see you all next week.
Sounds good. See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.